Hey there, U10s, Mr. Herman here. Unfortunately, I cannot be in the double with you guys for today, so I've made a little video tutorial that you can reference the video from in order to do your booklet work. What I'll get you guys to do is to grab your booklet out. I'll show you which page you'll need to turn to. For now, the lesson that we'll be looking into is lesson 3, frequency tables, column graphs, and histograms. Learning goals for this lesson is to understand how data can be represented through frequency tables and column graphs for this lesson. And the success criteria, so what you'll be able to do at the end of this is to be able to construct a column graph and a histogram if you have enough time from given data. So your booklet looks like this. If you haven't done so already, your name, my name, and what form you are in should be on the front page. The different types of data would kind of honed in on a little bit within class. I'm going to look into this more on Friday's class. For now, we're just going to bypass this and we're going to get to this page here, which I believe is the 5th page of your booklet, including the front page. So this here is called frequency tables and column graphs and histograms. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you this example here, and then underneath this one there's a now you try where you're going to give this a go, and there's going to be some questions that you're going to answer afterwards. So for now, let's look at the context of the question and we'll try to figure out what type of data is below, whether it's categorical or numerical, and the different types of graphical representations that we can do from this. And this is basing some prior knowledge that you would have seen in previous years of how to do graphical representation. So the context question, we have 20 people checking out of a hotel and they were surveyed on the level of service provided by the hotel staff. And these were the following results. So you've got these different choices, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 12, 16, and 20 people were asked of these choices. What we're going to do is construct a frequency table to record the data with headings category, tally, and frequency. And then also we're going to construct a column graph for this data with this little template that can help us out here. So let's look into A. And what we're going to do is we're going to create what's called a frequency table. Remember, frequency just means how often or how many times did a certain thing occur. In this case, a certain category here. So the different types of categories we have. So we've got a category. We also have a tally. And we have a frequency. And remember in class we looked at the different the difference between a tally and a frequency. Frequency, I'll just put FREQ for short. Now we'll look at the different types of categories that we can choose from. From what I can see, we have poor, we have average, we have good, and we have first class. And I said it particularly in that order because you can rank that from the worst to the best. So what you guys are going to do is you're going to copy this example here. The 4 different types we have are poor, average, we have good, and then we have first class. And so your table roughly is going to look like this. Underneath here, we're going to have a total. And just to double check, we're expecting a total of 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. We're expecting a total, so when we gather up our frequency, once we count for each category, there should be 20 or up. So we'll go ahead and check out how many we have for poor if you haven't done so already. I can see that there is 1, 2, 3. So tally is just the little dash marks just to help us keep count. This is one way to approach it. You check out what find all the 1 categories and tally that up, and then you go ahead and put a frequency of 3. The next one we have is average. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Yep, 4 here. So 4. For good, I believe there are 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So a tally would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the last amount has to be 5, because when you add 8, 4, and 3, you get 15. So we should have 5 for first class. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Yes, we do. And there's our 5. This does tally up to 20 all up, so that's correct. Next thing we're going to do now is for B, we're going to create a column graph for this column graph. And there's a difference between a column graph and a histogram. When we venture into histograms, I'll show you the main difference. For now, let's put in what the hotel service is as our title, hotel service. And then our labels, on the left hand side, we always have a frequency. Okay, we always have the number that is represented by our category. Okay, so all these different numbers where it goes up to will be on the left, and then on the bottom would be the context in itself, the 4 different choices. So the first one we have is poor, second one average, third one good, and the first one first class, which I put FC, first class for sure. Now, what people tend to do is they see that there are 20 people all up. So from the frequency on the left hand side, they'll have the limit go up to 20. This is incorrect. You want to put on the left hand side what the greatest limit will be for the frequency, or what the highest frequency would be out of the 4 different choices. In this case, our highest is 8. So maybe we can start at 0 and then we can go up. Each block is represented by 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 8. And then the last thing we'll do is we'll map out each of these categories by the represented frequency via a column. So for Paul, it was 3, so it goes 1, 2, 3 up to there, and a quick color in just like this. Second one was a 3, second one is 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 for average. Color in 4 for good, which is the greatest amount. We have 8. Color that in, and then the last one is 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll go ahead and color that one in. If you want to color it in different colors, you're more than welcome to. Just ensure that you've always got your title. Okay, we want to know what the context is. We want to know the different types of services. So here on the bottom would be service with the following 4 categories. Obviously, the more categories there are, the longer the actual column graph will be. And then the frequency will always be on the left hand side with the relevant label. Okay, so the last thing we need to fill out is the types of data that are below. So obviously when this question was asked, they gave a choice of poor, average, good, or first class. Obviously these are not numbers. They didn't answer in a number, they answered via a certain category. So the type of data below is categorical. So at the top we're going to write categorical. Now we're going to hone in on the specific type of categorical data it is. But we're not going to do that just yet. So when you write categorical, just make sure you leave a little bit of space on the right hand side. And the different type of, or possible type of graphical representation, there are 2 ways that we can showcase this information, and we've actually showcased this information already. The first one is a frequency table, so FREQ for short. So we've got a frequency table, and then we also have our column graph. And a column graph sometimes can also be referred to as a bar chart because they look like bars, they go up. But the term histogram doesn't apply to this, and the clue is because it is to do with categorical data. You don't use histograms for categories. Alright, next page. There's an example that looks like this, and again we have a frequency table. Again, I'm going to go ahead and fill this information out. We have different car colors. Tally has been totaled up of some sort. We need to find out, or given to us, sorry, we need to find out what that total is. So the frequency is just the number representation of how many dashes there are. So for red, there's 3. For white, there's 5. For green, there's 2. And for silver, there's also 2. This tallies up to 12. Okay, nice and simple. Just a sense of counting and knowing how to do simple addition. And then again, we'll just go ahead and we're going to create. It shouldn't be a histogram. This is not a histogram. This is a column graph. This is a column graph. And again, the reason why is because this information here is categorical. When the question was asked, what is your car color? They didn't answer as a number. They answered as a certain category. So you can't make a histogram from this. So we've got our 4 different categories: red, white, green, and silver. Go ahead and put the frequency. What's the greatest amount? Is 5. So we'll go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So for red, we go up to 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to leave a little bit of a gap there. Generally, or I wouldn't say generally, all the time when you do a bar chart, when it's to do with categorical data, you always leave a gap. For white, the number was 5, so that was most popular one. Go to there. There we go. For green and silver, it was 2 each. So silver was 2. What's up there? And then green. And that one there as well. Okay, last thing we need is our relevant labels. So here, this is the car color. So all the different car colors. The left hand side is always frequency. The actual title itself is, well, effectively car color as well. If you want to change it up a bit, you can always say color of car to make it different to the label that's on the bottom. So what you guys will be doing is the set questions. So after you've done this example here, you're going to work on the question that's below this. The question that's below the second example that we did. There is a percentage frequency, which I'll get you guys to leave it for now, but if you do want to tackle it, the first example is there. This one is a bit of a tricky one, so you might need to get a little bit of help from the teacher. And then also there's another question here that I'll get you guys to tackle. Histograms we'll look into another time. And there's also this question 3 that I want you guys to tackle. Best of luck with the work, guys. If you need any help, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to flick me a message on Teams and I'll try to help you out as best as I can. Alright, see you guys next day on Friday. Bye.